Hey friends, what's up? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Today we have the fragrance of The Rock. That's right, Dwayne Rockson. Wait, no, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Screwing around, but seriously, this looks like Black Adam's fragrance to the maximum. Of course, I'm talking about the new Carolina Herrera Bad Boy Extreme. I mean, it's got the Black Adam lightning bolt thing going on. It's got the color scheme going on. Come on, like legitimately, it wouldn't surprise me if they were like, hey, we're gonna do this as a tie-in to the movie. And then the movie bombed and they were like, what? This has nothing to do with that over there. Don't pay attention to that. So yeah, I got in Bad Boy Extreme just yesterday, actually, and I had no self-control. I went ahead and opened it up and sprayed it on and wore it, and I've been wearing it today. So in today's video, I'll be telling you guys my thoughts on it. Just giving you my first impressions. I'll show you the fragrance presentation, the box, the bottle, the whole deal, and we'll just talk about it. So let's jump into it. Hey guys, I got this one from Beauty the Shop. So I paid a pretty penny for it. My suggestion would be to wait a little bit, pick it up from Macy's or wherever in the US if you really want it, because you won't have to pay as much on shipping and just the fragrance itself. Like Beauty the Shop is pretty expensive if you're in the US anyway. So yeah, I'll have it linked in the description. Feel free to check it out, but my suggestion would be to wait just a little while longer instead of paying out the nose. Also, if you shop at Twisted Lily, maxaroma.com, use the code GENTS10 for 10% off your order. And if you have a Perfumania or fragrance outlet store nearby, stop in because they have my fragrances in every one of the stores in the entire country. Terra Nova, Jet Black Enigma, Blue Ridge. You know the drill. Absolutely love them. Blue Ridge, a big time compliment pulling blue fragrance. Terra Nova, also extreme versatility, a little bit classier, a little bit more interesting probably for people that have a ton of fragrances. Blue Ridge is made to just be as wearable as humanly possible. And Jet Black Enigma, sexy, a little bit mysterious, perfect for fall and winter time. Link in the description as well to those on Michael Muller's website. If you buy any of them, Gent Sense will get you 20% off, save a little money. Okay, all that out of the way, let's talk Bad Boy. Now, when the original Bad Boy came out, it got a little bit of flack from people in the community. One of the big reasons, the bottle. I mean, it looks like a Paco Rabanne bottle, right? With this lightning bolt. Some people thought, oh, really cheesy, don't like that. So they crapped on it, but that's what happened. And I will say that the original Bad Boy, while it might not be the most innovative, like different thing that I've ever smelled, if you're looking for something that's going to get positive attention, be very wearable, especially in cool weather, Bad Boy crushes it. That Tonka cacao combo that it has going on, people dig it. Follow that up with Bad Boy Le Parfum. Bit different, that one. A little more interesting for people that have smelled a ton of things out there. It had a marijuana note to it, a weed note, whatever you want to call it, a hemp note. I forget how it is that they actually advertised it, but you get the drill. Bad Boy Cobalt. That one smells a bit similar to Invictus Platinum. So you've had this kind of meandering deal with Bad Boy. And that leads us to this one, Bad Boy Extreme, leaving out the limited edition bottles and stuff like that because who cares? This one has quite the hefty note breakdown. So when I got it in, I didn't really know what to expect. Like, how similar is this going to be? How different is it going to be? You know, is it going to be interesting? Is it going to be crap? Because so far this year, it's been good. The fragrances I've smelled, the new releases that I've gotten in this year have all been solid. And some of them really nice, so I was hopeful. Let's check out the presentation first, and then we'll start talking about how it smells. So here you have the box. It is an absolute fingerprint magnet. You have to keep one of these on hand, like a little microfiber cloth to wipe your box off in your bottle, and it still doesn't really get it looking pristine. On the front, you have the name of the house, the name of the fragrance, the size and concentration. It's an Eau de Parfum Extreme. Up top, you have the Herrera logo. You got nothing on the sides. On the back, really nothing either. And then on the bottom, you have your ingredients, your batch code, and your barcode. My batch code is 23251. And here we have the bottle. Like I said at the beginning of the video, you know, you have that typical Bad Boy lightning bolt style and almost this Black Adam color scheme. Gold at the bottom with the gradient that goes toward black up at the top. The stand is black for this fragrance. Herrera logo at the front where the atomizer is. atomizer built into the top of the bottle. It says Carolina Herrera, New York on the base of your stand. And then on the bottom, you have your badge code. I'll admit that when this was announced, the first bad boy, I thought the bottle, you know, looked a little cheesy, a little tacky. It reminded me of like the lightning bolt in the middle of AC/DC or Shazam, Black Adam, whatever. But at this point, who cares? Definitely stands out. It's its own thing. It's unique looking. I don't mind it. And to an extent, I think I'd rather see some cheesy, tacky bottles like this popping out than just some run-of-the-mill nothingness bottle. So it's okay. Let's go ahead and share a couple sprays here so you can see how the atomizer works. Here we go. Pretty solid, actually. All right, Bad Boy Extreme. How does it smell? Well, if you look online, you will see a big division right now, but that is because it's new. As more people get their nose on it, things will shake out. But right now you basically have one side saying this is the greatest stuff ever. You have another side saying this is the worst stuff ever. It's like there's no middle ground right now. That's kind of how it looks. Like I said though, a year from now, things will shake out and it will be where it should be as far as like the review websites and things. I have to tell you, of all the fragrances that I've smelled so far, the new ones this year, this has my favorite opening. The opening of this is awesome. I totally am in love with it. And it actually smells a bit like Frangelico. And that was interesting because it doesn't have any nutty notes in the official note breakdown, but in the opening it is like straight up hazelnut to me, like a sweet hazelnut kind of vibe. Again, reminiscent of Frangelico, which is that liqueur, like hazelnut liqueur that looks like a little monk with a rope belt. It reminds me of that. So when I sprayed this on, I was like, oh man, this is like a really kind of sweet, nutty opening. Very appealing with like a little tiny touch of freshness to it off the top. And so I had my wife smell it and I was like, do you smell that? Like how nutty that comes across? And she was like, oh yeah, absolutely. And I thought to myself, like, I don't remember that this did have a like nut note to it. Nut note, you know what I mean? So I looked it up and no, a bunch of notes on there, but not hazelnut. And yet in the opening, that is absolutely 100% what I get. And it's more of a clear hazelnut note to me than a lot of other fragrances that have that as an accord. Like a lot of other fragrances will have that, and yes, you'll get this kind of nuttiness to it, you know, like some of the Stronger With You fragrances and things of that ilk. But a lot of times those are mixing together with other sweet notes and other things, and so it kind of melds together where it doesn't come out maybe necessarily right at the forefront. But here it does. Unfortunately, that does not last long. And I wish that it did. I wish that it lasted a long time, at least into the mid, but no, off my skin, I mean, I'd say within 5 minutes, that kind of vibe, that Frangelico vibe has dissipated. It still keeps some sweetness, it does, and it has this incense note, this little bit of smokiness that comes in. It's very dry. Olibanum, Apopanax kind of melding together. They come in pretty early. You don't get too much plum in here, so I was expecting more of that plum. It's a bit player and it's not the star of the show. It's more so this cacao that comes out, a little chocolatey feel mixing together with that dry incense, and it has a little bit of a woody type characteristic as it dries down. A tinge of earthiness, not dirty earthy though. It's just this kind of patchouli, clary sage, vetiver mixture that gives you a little earthy hit kind of underneath that cacao, underneath that dry incense. It does remind you more of the original Bad Boy as it dries down. The opening, I would say, is its own thing, completely its own thing. But then as it dries, like I said, it gets closer. It's a little more grown up, a little more mature than the original Bad Boy. It's not quite as heavy on the sweetness, not quite as heavy on the tonka. It's there. It's just not, like I said, as in your face. So it's like you take those notes, you rein them in a little bit. The cacao, pull it in a little bit. The tonka, pull it in a little bit. Boost up some of that incense. Again, dry. Boost up some of that woodiness. That's kind of what you've got going on here compared to the original. And it's not that this fragrance is a disappointment to me. It's absolutely not, but man, like where it started, like I just I wish that opening had more legs. I wish that it lasts longer. I wish that that was kind of where the focus was. Like that was the idea, and you really build off that. Instead, it gets your attention early, and then as it dries, it becomes a little more of that grown up, little incensey bad boy. It does have great appeal to it, and I will say in the air, it does smell a little bit sweeter than when you're right up close. So it has that complement factor. It's got that versatility for cool weather, fall, wintertime, early spring, stuff is gonna smell awesome. And I do like how it smells overall. I think it smells really nice, very pleasant, easy to wear. So this is one where the first impressions are good. I think it's a solid release. It's just one of those ones that unfortunately, my favorite part is the opening, and then it kind of goes down a little bit from there and then evens out. And it's one of those fragrances where there is a clear delineation for me personally, where I say, yes, the opening is my favorite part, and it's not close. And sometimes that can be a little bit disheartening because it becomes the kind of fragrance that you want to spray on over and over and over and over because you just like that opening so much more. And I don't want it to sound like I'm saying that the mid and the dry down smell bad, because they don't, but you get the drift. Very versatile, big compliment puller, smells great in the air. A little more grown up than the original Bad Boy. It's just, for me, it starts off at its best point. Now, as far as performance goes, very good, solid stuff. Longevity's very good. Sprayed it on my skin through the evening. I could still easily pick the fragrance up. Projection, very solid as well, above average across the board. But again, first time wearing it was yesterday, so don't have any like time frames or anything like that. It's just a very good performer. I've already gone over the seasons. It's more of an evening fragrance than a daytime fragrance. And I think it's a really good Bad Boy scent. I would take this one personally over the original Bad Boy. I think it has more wearability than Le Parfum. Yeah, I think as of right now, this would be the one I'd go for. Even though it lets me down after the opening a little bit, I think just overall, I could see myself wearing this more than the other ones. Some people might say that the Le Parfum is a little bit more interesting on the whole, but again, just as far as like what I would grab and actually wear, like go out and wear, I reach for this more often. So there we go, Bad Boy Extreme. Got some really nice positives here. Some things that I would change, again, more of a focus on that kind of hazelnut, because it's a unique hazelnut note. I mean, it's used a lot right now, which is maybe one of the reasons they didn't want to hone in on that, because you see that kind of vibe across a lot of fragrances right now. But the way it comes across here in the opening to me is different enough that if you focused in on that, this could have been like, holy crap, this is this type of scent that you want. This is the one. Instead, it's like it dilly-dallies, it plays around in that area, and then kind of brings it back to the original Bad Boy with a more mature vibe. And when I do say mature, I'm not talking like, it smells like a fragrance from the 80s, of course. I just mean that it's not quite as sweet and playful, if you want to call it that, as the original. It's one that you could wear in more dressy situations and it would fit better. All right, that is it for me. Thank you for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, guys. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.